Hi there. I'm just gonna have a short session tonight. Decided to burn the sacral chakra healing candle. Do a little chit chat. So, Ange, tell me more about your connection with Morgan. Because I did read a book. I can't remember the title. That was focused on her. It's been years. hmm. Yeah, my Wi-Fi seems okay. It's just the app. Let me see if I can change my settings real quick. I'll be right back. My mother does not like crows because they used to pick in her garbage and she used to chase them away. I'm like, they will remember. Hey, fellas. Yeah, they remember a face. They're very smart. I love corvids in general. And I found out blue jays are in the corvid family. Fix the buffering issue. Oh, look at that. That's funny. It's not actually using my... No, Is it still buffering? Alright, let me change one more setting. And I believe... Nah, come on now. Is that better now? I changed my settings on... Looks about the same like it did the other night, so... I don't know. It is. So I'm kind of used to that. But the storms kind of gave me extra energy, so... I'm awake. Even though... Yeah, I really should be staying awake anyways, because I'll be on night shift at the, assisted living place. So, oh, there's that moth. Do not fly into the flame, mister. Please don't do that to yourself. Hey, chill out, buddy. You did not just do that to yourself. I knew that was going to happen. You're an idiot. Alright. Gotta dig that thing out. Yeah, I knew that was gonna happen twice of the night. I had one of those moths fly into my heart chakra a couple nights ago. I was just like, hi? And just dive bomb me. I wonder if they make flame-proof screen or something. It's a little too high anyways to put anything on it. But, oh, okay. He doesn't sleep very well. Still. It's nice the family that he's living with always checks on him, make sure he's alright. The guy that he rescued and returned to his family is kind of like his brother now. So, Ange, tell me more about Morgan. I know you said about the crows. And she's the divine feminine, which definitely a good sign. Huh. Let me see if I can close out other things. I've got this Oracle of the Dragon Fae by Lucy Cavendish. Huge, huge deck. It's ridiculous. I kind of want to trim it just so it fits better, but I would lose the numbers on the cards. So I'm trying to find a way of putting the numbers back on. But I think there's Morgan in here. We got Morgan Le Fay. There's the Morgan. In this deck, I'm going to read from the book. Says, I see now that events are moving extremely fast. This is the time of rapid change and creation. Yeah, so rapid you may wish to slow down just a little. However, I say to you clearly that the time to act is now. Oh, that's appropriate. Can lead you forward through this time and help you pick your way through the minefield before you. This is a time of testing and darkness, but through this you will grow strong. Be aware, if you have resisted your abilities or felt blocked in terms of following your life path, these changes will take place very rapidly because they've been waiting for a signal to be able to come in. And they are working hard with you, so you do not have to endure a long, drawn-out process of change. Truly, you are ready. Take flight with me and know that taking your own path seriously and acting now with deep integrity is the way for justice to reach you. Yeah, I can see that. And I'm quite used to having things shook up. Yeah. Do not give in to panic and do not run. Now is the time. If not now, when? Yeah, I procrastinated. You've already tortured yourself in 1,000 ways with your thoughts. So true. You cannot avoid change. Each day your cells renew and all you have to do is breathe in and out for this process to take place. You are confusing stasis with safety. There is nothing to fear. There is everything to gain. Give up your fear, your victimhood, and your petty grievances and walk a while with me and my raven as we pass through the wild dark of the wood and merge on the other side. Changed, transformed, and powerful. And it goes on to say, a ancient dragon fae, Celtic goddess of death and change. Just like on his cards. She not only gave warriors premonitions of their passing so they could make preparations, she eased them through their passage to the other side. Thus she rules transitions in our lives, not simply the ones from this life to the next, but the ones that take us into the unknown through our fear and into alchemy and magic, where we are able to show who we truly are. Yep. A triple goddess, she is fierce, fair, and utterly without malice. She is, however, a straightforward and sometimes abrupt teacher and guide. I definitely need that. Be strong, be prepared for deep change when she makes an appearance. Do not go into fear at these words. Let your courage feel inspired, and know that destiny has given you an opportunity to be courageous being of action. You truly are. See, I knew that a turning point in your life demands action on your behalf, and backing down or avoidance is not the answer. Morgan calls on you to take action and face your fears. This way, your transformation will be the one which gives you great strength and wisdom. Feeling frightened, alone, and hesitant will only lead you astray. Follow her guidance, knowing she will walk forward with you and assist you in uncovering strengths you never believed you had. Draw strong boundaries and claim your space. Yeah, definitely need to do that. She can signify transitions and rites of passage, birth, death, physical change. Spirit connections with loved ones who have passed away may also be indicated in the Morgan. It's interesting because I've had the premonition of the twins, but something tells me that my adopted father that passed and my adopted grandmother that passed are going to be reincarnating as them. I'm not sure if that's just my wishes or if that's an accurate premonition, but they have both stayed very close to me. It says, face troubles rather than turning away. Confront injustice and change the rules by which you have felt bound. Break free from stagnating jobs and pursuits, relationships that offer no life source. Yep, the divorce. Cross over into a more spiritual path and learn to work with your strength and your own ability to create deep change. Losing fear of your own power. Invoking natural laws, knowing you have been acting in integrity. Mediumship. Interesting. So, yeah. She's come up before for me when I was reading these. Let me see if I can find her in the deck. This artwork is lovely too. It's just... these cards are massive. I used to put them back in order after every reading. I did not do that this time. Where are you? Ah, there she is. She's looking like the Queen of Swords there. And boy, have I really been Queen of Swords with a lot of people. Oh, I bet you'll see them tomorrow. Be like, hey, remember us? I really like this deck. Like, it's just, I wish it was smaller. Because my poor arthritic hands. That's why I like getting some of the bootleg decks from Wish, because they're even smaller, like they're playing card size, and so much easier. Like, yeah, it's cheaper card stock, but they still work. They still work. And I do feel guilty that the artists aren't getting their cut, but I do try to support them in other ways. I definitely promote the deck. My hands aren't real tiny, it's just... I've been through so many jobs that have put a lot of strain, give me carpal tunnel, and cause my fingers to swell up, so I'm finally on some stuff that helps, but I know I'm not going to be able to be on it much longer because, not tested in pregnancy, so I'm definitely, the second we are able to consummate the relationship, definitely going to be stopping a lot of things. I don't resonate at all with any rider weight. Like, I know a lot of them are based on it and still very, very close to it. But my first deck was the dragon, just the dragon one, the dragon tarot. I had gone in looking for a vampire tarot deck and didn't have the one I wanted, and the dragons were like shouting at me, like, you need to take us home. I'm like, but you aren't what I was looking for. And they're like, I don't care, take us home. So I started out with one that's not exactly following the Rider Waite. And then the Egyptian tarot, their symbolism in the book is completely different. So, I mean, I watch a lot of readers that use Rider Waite and have picked up the symbolism for that, but they all have their own unique artwork, and the little details are usually what stick out for me. So, if I notice some little detail, that's usually what's important, what's going to resonate with the person. I don't know, I just don't like the traditional artwork. I've seen different ones that are a little bit better, but I don't know. Something about it just doesn't sit well with me. When he says, hey, you just like to be weird. Yeah, that too. Even the family's dog is checking on him because he got up. Puppy's like, is there something wrong, human? He's not used to having people truly concerned for his well-being. Okay, Moss, seriously. Go up to the light bulb, that won't hurt. There you go. Bang your head against the light bulb instead. I don't think you were here the other night when I had a Romani friend that stopped in. Oh, God. He asked for something about his travels and had to give him a warning. Like, protect yourself, buddy. Be careful, because the Empress came up. He's had quite a chaotic life here. Well, I'm glad you decided to join me. And especially, giving me information on work. And it's funny, the only birds that have not come to the bird feeder that I had to take it down because the housing council's like, well, it's attracting bugs and rodents because they're idiots. They're just petty. Yeah. I'm sure more people might join. We'll see. It happens. It's usually slow at first, but crows were the only ones that never came to the bird feeder, and we had over a dozen species. It was crazy. Like, all kinds of birds that most people, like at least farmers, consider pests. Like cowbirds and starlings and stuff. Grackles. Like, I don't care. Everybody's welcome. There was no fighting. Although some of the juvenile starlings were kind of cranky with some of the other birds. And I'm like, no fighting. But, yeah, they made me take it down. And then today, the blue jays all came, sat in the gutter, and were yelling for food. I'm like, guys, what do you want me to do? So I tossed a little of the leftovers out that I had, a little bit left in the seed bag so that they could eat. Yeah. But, like, there's a hawk that lives across in the cemetery, hawk family. And I had one fly right over my head when I was down at the assisted living that's in the neighborhood. Oh, these starlings are beautiful. Like, I know they can tear through, like, an entire cherry crop, but, I thought they were really cute to watch. Because they would, like, hang upside down and flap their wings like a hummingbird. And I'm like, what are you doing? Just hang on the thing. Like, an entire family of starlings started coming. I named the boy Shakespeare. And this female Rose. She actually preferred the peanuts over the suet blocks. Oh, I live in western Pennsylvania. But I'm living with my mother in a retirement community. So, once she passes, I would have to sell this place. I wouldn't really be able to stay because I'm not retirement age or whatever nonsense. I wouldn't want to anyways because they're just petty people. You have to ask permission to change anything. It's really stupid. Like, she owns the condo, but it still feels like she's paying rent every month because of the upkeep, which I think they're overcharging, like, hugely. They're getting the same amount from every single person, and there's no way it costs that much. Especially since they hired Mexicans to do it, and I know they work cheap. But it's okay. I can watch some things on YouTube. I subscribe to Leslie the Bird Nerd. She has been the one that I watch for the Blue Jays. Well, dementia, it's increasing. It's going to be 1 in 2 people pretty soon, which is scary. And there's kids being diagnosed with it. It's definitely brain damage, and it's less to do with age than to do with the toxins in the environment, especially aluminum. We saw so many go downhill worse whenever they got their flu shot. Don't smoke, it's bad for you. It's kind of funny, like, at first he was like, you have to stop smoking for me to be around you because it's a trigger. Hey, Saul. Hi, sweetheart. Yeah, I mean, and aluminum cookware. I mean, how many people have grown up with aluminum cookware? That's why it's increasing, plus there's aluminum in the vaccines. And, dementia and Alzheimer's is basically the buildup of aluminum in your brain. Even though they won't admit that. They couldn't admit that. But anyways, when, he knows I smoke cloves, and his dad smokes cloves. But I think his dad just smokes the plain clove, not the super, what they call ultra menthol. Go figure. MK Ultra. And yeah, it has the triangle on it, like the pyramid. But it's weird, like, I didn't even know this. I was known for drinking absinthe whenever I hung out in bars. Like, I was not really a bouncer. Like, I checked ID just so I could get in for free and watch the bands for free. Because it's so expensive to, like, socialize. And, you know, I earned the nickname Lucid. See, that's the logo of Lucid. And it's funny, like, his dad put up a video of a ritual with Lucid Absinthe on his YouTube. And I know he smokes cloves. It's like, wait a second. This is weird. But yeah, he's gotten over most of his triggers. It's just, you know, he wants me to be healthy, obviously. So, and I know once I get pregnant, I won't want them because it'll just be like, oh. I intuitively know I'll know. But yeah, government wants to kill us. Yeah, what else is new? Some of us get killed a little faster, that's all. And some of the worst things are like, oh, this is for your own good. The more they push it and try to force it upon you, the more you have to question. Like, oh, yeah, for our own good, you say. No, it's not. I'm just waiting for them to start pulling my videos when I start talking about certain things. Like, no. Not allowed to talk about that. I don't care, I'll keep talking. Yeah, they pulled a video saying it was a copyright thing, even though I know it wasn't that. Because I had plenty of other videos up with, you know, copyright claims because of music in the background. And it was because it started raining when I was doing a ritual outside, and the rain kept hitting the candle, and the candle flame changed colors. And I'm just like, first of all, it should be putting it out. Second of all, what the hell are all these colors? And I looked it up and started talking about the chemicals in it. So that video got pulled. Amazing. Oh, I know. Yeah, I know that on my phone and all that stuff. I don't care. Even on my Facebook, yeah, I got censored, you know, a lot, but I still said stuff. Except for certain things I know not to. Talked about that last night. But I'm watched more closely than most people. You know, they tend to watch gifted people more anyways, plus being connected to someone that used to be in the Monarch program. Yeah, they want to fuck with you. So, I mean, I've almost been run off the road a few times, and it's funny, it's always when I have a passenger. Never by myself. Like, really? Like, you want to witness to this intimidation tactic. Okay. Once it was my mother, and the other time it was my coworker. Yeah, but I could pull an 11 and toss the vehicle if I really felt like they were going to do anything beyond intimidation. Referring to Stranger Things. It's funny, I've got an 11 on the other side of my wrist. Well, it's a 9 or 11. It's Roman numerals. See? And I've been asked, oh, did you get an 11 on your wrist because of Stranger Things? And I'm like, no, I had it before that. But it's funny that they decided to name her 11. You know? Yeah, they do get numbered and all that, but it's on a chip. They don't tattoo them. Soul has been a huge supporter of my channel. Huge, and she gave me a very generous donation last night. I woke up this morning and saw the notification. I'm like, oh my god, that's awesome. So without a doubt, I will definitely be able to afford my divorce. I was real close to getting it this paycheck, and then I'm like, well, I gotta set aside some money for food and all that stuff and some incidentals. So, she'll be back. She'll be back. She was in and out last night for the 6 hours. I can't believe I went for 6 hours last night. But I did. And then I joined Crafty's Tarot for a while. Yeah, only one of you showing up on the little person count thing. That's okay, Soul. You are more than able to take your little break. I got goofy. Like, the storms today just gave me extra energy, so it's kind of like, Today was his therapy day, so he's kind of like laying low. Yeah, on his therapy days, he kind of doesn't want to talk to too many people, even me, which used to get to me. But I'm like, especially in the beginning, he had to switch through all his personalities to try to, get to the bottom of all their triggers. But now, he's down to 3, and it's mostly he's dealing with stuff that's relevant to getting custody of his kids. So the toxic parenting styles that he was raised under and that kind of stuff. So that's been the main focus, and it's not as intense for him, but he's just. So I know on Mondays and Thursdays he's kind of not talkative. Yeah, I agree. Crafty is great. I love his little accent. And he really did a nice, in-depth reading, more than I was expecting for me. That was sweet. Like, it really put us both at ease. And, yeah, he was there for that, listening in, and he's like, oh, good. Yeah, I expect them to put me through the ringer, but as long as it all ends well, It wasn't too bad. Like, there was miscommunication with my new job. Again, same director, same issue when I started at the other place. Like, she forgot to tell me I was on the schedule for this week. She's like, she had given me the schedule for the next 2 weeks. And she didn't say anything that I can remember about just coming in, even though I wasn't on the schedule for this week. And she's like, I thought I told you, but my mother had gone berserk and freaked out on me. And it was a very, very bad day that day. So, we just chalked it up to miscommunication. So, instead of reading, I would have been working. But it's all good. So, have a couple more days. Yeah, I kind of expected it. It's always tough when someone transitions. Like, that was the worst part of working assisted living. Like, I got attached to a lot of them, even though I tried not to. But, you know, we're kind of family with some of them. Like, we saw them more than their family did for most of them. And then one that used to live at the place I worked at before moved to this new one, and I saw her, and it's been so long since I saw her. Her dementia's gotten so much worse. It was just heartbreaking. I was like, oh my God, she's not the same person. And it's like, there's nothing we can do. There's really nothing we can do for them. Just comfort them and make sure they're cared for. Yeah, it is Friday already, isn't it? I got a TENS machine from the daughter of one of the people I take care for. I got a bunch of flannel pajamas and a piece of nice artwork for my bedroom from another one. And the one that I saw at this new place that I knew before had made me one of those woven rugs. So I have stuff from them that, you know, helps me remember the good times with those people. Crotchety old bat, jeez. Well, I was gonna say, you know, just remember the good times, but some people, you know, sad to say, it's like a relief when they pass, you know, for some people. There have been some people where it's just like, oh my God, finally. Because they're just, you know, they make other people's lives miserable sometimes. We had a few people like that, unfortunately, that we had to deal with. There are a few people in my life where it would be a relief when they pass. I'll just say that. My partner's not being real talkative right now. He's kind of fighting off a headache, which is pretty normal for therapy days. When I consider what he's been through compared to what I've been through, it makes it feel like nothing. Dealing with a narcissist is nothing in comparison. I mean, it's bad, but shit. At least I wasn't molested and tortured. Well, that's for sure, Soul. That's for sure. I don't think anyone that is a healer grows up with an easy life. I think it helps them build empathy. Yeah, I was looking at our synastry chart again, reading over things and saving some screenshots and stuff, and going, yep, I totally see that, how it plays out. Like the placements of different planets in each other's houses, mostly. Because I remember looking at all the aspects of planets to planets before, but I didn't really go into the, this planet in someone else's house thing. And we've got some interesting contacts. Some of them are like, well, this can be very challenging. I mean, it's great for friendship, great for coworkers, but could be bad for a romantic. I'm like, nah. But, it also, like, a lot of the contacts are like, you have to work together as well. It's like, yeah, we're gonna have, a business together, healing people. Hey, Yvette. Oh my god, that you can't hide anything with telepathic connection. You really can't. Like, especially if you can remote view and just kind of, like, see what the person's doing. Like, you can't hide anything. And it's just kind of like, well, you get to see everything about that person. And if you just happen to, like, connect at a, inopportune moment. It's like, did you mind, sometimes I'd be sitting on the toilet and he'd be like, hey, what's hobby you want to play? I'm like, dude, do you not see where I am? Oh, okay. Or when I was driving to see my mentor the one time, the whole way down the highway, he was playing with me. And I was just like, this is so inappropriate. This is unsafe. He's like, you're fine. You've got cruise control. I'm like, but dude, I managed to get there safely, but I walk in and my mentor could tell. She could tell. And she's smirking. I'm just like, shut up. Just shut up. Don't encourage him like that. That was back when he was definitely still tapping into the incubus programming that he had. Oh my god. Like, it was pretty constant. Not complaining about that, but, there's been times lately where I'm like, I kind of miss that. And I'm like, why don't you just, like, pounce on me all the time anymore? Like, shit. But, yeah, it was definitely kind of like a horny teenager vibe back then, so. He's definitely matured since then. It's just like, dude. Sometimes I'd kind of like that, but it's really awkward when you live with your mother and she's nosy. So I usually set aside some time whenever she's at work or if she's out on an appointment or something. Be like, hey, guess what? She's gone. Hey, Gallo. Last night I fell asleep on him after Crafty's thing, and I woke him like, what did you do to me while I was sleeping? He's like, Yeah, and part of the programming that they did with him was obviously beta slave, sex slave, and they programmed him to believe that he had an incubus in him, which, I mean, he may have actually had an incubus in him, I don't know for sure, but then that turned his attention on me whenever we started connecting, and yeah. It was fun. No complaints about that, but I never knew that could happen. Like, I knew some people had telepathy, like when you're really close friends and you think of a person and they call you, that low-key kind of telepathy. I had telepathy with my kid's father before that soul walked out. Yeah, when we were first dating, we had that kind of a connection. And, you know, I was not a stranger to telepathy. And the sex part, though, that kind of shook me. I'm like, what? You can do that? And definitely took advantage of it. I know it's going to be mind-blowing when it's, the physical, so. Probably knock out the lights in the whole neighborhood. Yeah, being an empath is rough. Our connection is so strong that, at least now it's taken a few years, and I know when it's about him and when it's about me. Yep. We definitely had triggering moments. And our connection is what started deprogramming him. Like, it just started happening gradually, and became more aware and co-conscious and all that other stuff with his different personalities. And it wasn't intentional on our part. I see all these people out there, oh, I want a twin flame. No, you are not ready for that shit. It's not all about romance. It's really not. Because it forces you to deal with your shit. And there's no hiding any of it from each other. None. You automatically get the telepathy. Like, I don't know. At first, it was hard because there's so many personalities in his head. Because it was constant chatter. And I was just like, oh my God, shut up with him. And, that was not very compassionate of me. No, it wasn't. But I didn't know how to block it out. But, I learned to deal with it. And then they started integrating and all this other stuff gradually. And, it's gotten easier. But it was hard for me to tell the difference. And then I finally, I realized the energy change between personalities, and I was able to keep them separated, like when I knew who was talking to me after a while. But now it's getting a little harder because they're integrating. So it's kind of like, the only one I can really tell for sure is 7-year-old, because his vocabulary is not the same, and he doesn't, obviously there's no sexual attraction there. So, but the other two, it's kind of like, is that him in a bitchy mood, or is that her? Because his delta has remained, and she's cranky. She's cranky. She's like total Queen of Swords, but, she respects me because I don't take shit from anyone. But, she's transformed into a protector instead of, what she used to do. But I honestly think if we hadn't connected, he would have probably voluntarily signed his soul over because he was already so close. And he enjoyed being spoiled financially. It's been hard on him. Like, adjusting to not being spoiled financially. Not having whatever he wanted whenever he wanted up in, major city. You know what I mean, soul. You live in New York. If you have a craving for a certain type of food, you can just go find it at any hour of the day. So, he's had to adjust to Western Pennsylvania. We have Eaton Park. Even the fast food doesn't stay open past 2 o'clock. Oh God, retail for an empath is terrible, Yvette. I hope you carry crystals to protect you. Amazingly, I haven't felt the need to carry crystals where I work at Lowe's, but I'm definitely going to have to carry something that will emit soothing energy to the people in assisted living. Shut up, soul. See, now he's living with the family where he learned how to cook, finally. They didn't want him independent, so they didn't teach him any life skills. Honestly. It was here's one of those, black credit cards that has no limit. You can get what you want when you want. He's learning. He's learning. So, if he wants food, he can go make it. They won't yell at him for making food in the middle of the night. They know, he doesn't sleep well. But, yeah, he just he usually veges out on, after his therapy. So it's amazing that he's even saying anything tonight. Yeah, so we were talking about the Walmart I worked at where it was built on a cemetery. That's just fucking crazy. I mean, for me, it was I'm alright. I could deal with it, but most people just didn't realize what was going on. That was, because of that. Yeah, New York's really fucking toxic. And here's the weird thing that happened recently here. There's this guy that has this little mini RV on the back of a fucking Prius. A beat up Prius too. And he has New York plates. And he has a bunch of birds in the car, exotic birds. And my mother had commented about this. I'm okay, because she comments about people that are weird. She's very judgmental. It turns out he's been trying to lure little girls. And I'm what? And she saw a post and she was talking about it. And how he has New York plates and everything. I'm there, taking them up there to traffic. And I'm ooh, if I see that motherfucker, he's gonna have to call a coroner. I ain't calling 911 until it's too late. I will take out a fucking child trafficker in a second. I don't care. And it's sad. They were trying to encourage me to become a social worker, major in that, social work. Yeah, I don't carry bricks around, but yeah. Well, I have my ways too, but yeah, they were telling me, oh, major in social work, and I'm CPS is part of fucking child trafficking too. And I would lose my shit if I found out a coworker was doing that shit. I would rather handle all ages and help them and not unknowingly aid in any child trafficking. Yeah. It's funny, I actually helped the police track down the guy who held me up just because he was stupid and held up some people that I worked with and called my manager. And I had said something which he repeated to the other one that kind of helped narrow things down. So it was really funny. Like, they were going to have me testify and everything, but he pled guilty to that and a whole bunch of other charges. And it's funny because whenever he was holding me up, I'm like, dude, is it really worth going to jail over $75? Like, I literally said that to him. Like, you could tell my adopted father was a cop and took me to the dark room all the time, showing me accident photos and crime scene photos, and I hung around the barracks, and yeah, I even knew the 10 codes. I ran dispatch for like 10 minutes while someone took a smoke break. So I knew police stuff. And, you know, I was even telling them how to do their job when they came to start doing dusting. I'm like, yeah, he rubbed his arm on there, so I'll check for some hairs. I mean, they didn't mind. They just thought it was funny because I told them. But, like, I was just pissed off that I knew I was going to have to stay until they investigated before I could leave. And I wasn't going to get paid for it. Like, I wasn't scared at all. Being held up at gunpoint. Like, it's nuts. Wow, damn. How old was she? Because I know they did that to him as part of the whole thing. They gave him a fake ID at a very young age. And they don't question it when they know. You know? You don't question a government issued fake ID because you know there's something going on. Yeah. I was like, I'm not getting involved in that. But it's funny, like, my one professor is social worker advisor or something. So I might end up having to add social work as a second major just to get my student loans to cover the 2 classes I'm taking from her that they won't approve. They're like, you already fulfilled your psychology stuff. Like, So, I mean, I don't really want to get into it. My master's is going to be, for psychology, not that. It's just a way to get through this without costing myself extra money. So, it's just, I don't want to be part of it. And my dad thought I was going to follow in his footsteps. And I considered it until I learned how corrupt that part is. And yeah, there's corruption within psychology community. A lot of people completely discount ritual abuse. Like, oh no, it's made up. Bullshit. The reason they're saying that is to cast doubt on the survivors. And they're part of the network of handlers. There's a whole lot of psychologists out there that are involved. And even one of the survivors, Katie Groves, her father was a psychologist. So his information's no longer online. It's kind of funny. Once she revealed who he was, they took his down. And I think I remember seeing his name in some of the studies I read too, which is really creepy. But that's why a lot of survivors are really hesitant to seek out help once they get out. They want to heal by themselves because they do not trust psychologists, because psychologists are involved in the Monarch program. I mean, they use very precise techniques of psychology in order to do these things. So, they learn not to trust them. And it's a shame because you pretty much need someone that is aware of the techniques in order to deprogram yourself safely. And my partner lucked upon someone that wasn't well versed in trauma and Monarch programming, but she read up on things and she did some digging before she started giving him therapy. So, she let him be in control of how therapy went and the techniques used and all that stuff. So it really worked well. Like, yeah, he went way more often than anyone would probably recommend. We're talking 3 times a week at most. Most people, even weekly is considered intense. So he was going to taper back down to once a week, and then he found out he had kids in the system up there, and he's like, yeah, I need to deal with that. So he's still doing 2 days a week. Summon to the light ship. You have fun, Ange. Thank you for stopping by. I know he's not going to be bugging me to head to bed anytime soon. He's just kind of... I think his headache finally went away, though. He's not saying much, which it's to be expected. He still has a few slightly unhealthy coping mechanisms, but trying to stay in control of them. He's hyper aware of how closely they're going to be watching him and analyzing everything. Like, she has to send updates, I guess. And she wrote a letter of recommendation. Well, not a letter of recommendation, but the therapist, she wrote a letter stating that, in her opinion, his therapy has gotten to the point where she considers him very stable. But apparently that's not enough for them. Like, they are being absolutely ridiculous and strict, considering what they have already put the kids through, They just want to look for an excuse to hang on to them, but ultimately, he has a lot of aces up his sleeve. So, they might put him through the ringer for it, but in the end, it'll all turn out okay. So, I definitely trust Crafty's read and Legendary. He pulled cards a while ago that the custody thing would go in our favor. And then Legendary, I was just wondering about the settlement, and he just went beyond that since it's so connected. He didn't find anything out about his kids. He didn't know he had any until he got a packet with his lawyers. And this is after he filed a lawsuit against his parents. So I think they were trying to bait him, which he did not take the bait. So he's healed enough that they can't trigger him like that anymore. Yeah, looks like 8 or 9 months till the resolution of the, I'm guessing the custody. I'm thinking his settlement will come sooner, because it's really pretty cut and dry. He's presented enough evidence that should satisfy the court. So, and that started a long time ago, and then they decided that in there to try to throw him off. It's probably their last-ditch effort at trying to throw him off the suit. But his dad's not entirely evil. He's under the control of his wife, obviously. However, there are some things that he's done for our benefit. And I can tell, like, he knew. It's funny the way I connected with him. My mentor had asked me to look him up and track him down because they had met and they tried to recruit her and her kids. But she had turned him down, and then she's like, I want you to find him. And then I'm like, okay, I found him, now what? And I thought she just wanted to reconnect with someone from New York, and she's like, no, there's things he can teach you that I can't because of agreements with her spirit guides. So, through out-of-body experience, astral projection, whatever you want to call it, meeting up with him and learning some things, during one of the sessions, his son walked in and felt my energy and was like, who's this? And, like, immediately, the look on his face was just like, uh-oh. Because they tried to keep him very isolated. He was not supposed to have any personal relationships with anyone. He was supposed to be considered, basically, a slave, a robot. And he's not supposed to interact with anybody. And when that happened, his dad just he looked at us and was like, uh-oh. This is not something I can interfere with. Like, I guess he sensed our connection immediately. And Mom, yeah, she hates me. Whatever. But, I mean, they've capitalized on that. They've benefited financially from what they put him through. So, it's going to shake their world up, but oh well, they earned it. They earned that karma. But his dad has helped. He's told me ways of shutting down certain parts of him for my safety. He tried to help him escape the first time. I mean, unfortunately, his wife was like, you tell me where the hell he went. And, they found him, but now he's just kind of like, whatever. And it's funny, he never answers me on Messenger. Anytime I have messaged him, he'll read it. And in fact, I'll get like these nudges to check his page, and there'll be something on there that's significant, which sometimes he deletes. And I'll send him a message about it. He reads it like immediately, like he's waiting for my response. And yeah, he can send me telepathic messages, but it's not the same kind of connection. I have to open up to it. Like, I have to permit it. It's not an automatic thing. But he'll say stuff to me that way. He will never, ever, ever respond in a way that can be tracked by who he works for. I've learned that much. But interestingly enough, we have mutual friends on Facebook, which I'm careful with what I have said to them after I discovered this. And it's funny, like, nobody could identify this person I was looking for. Like, they kept quiet. And I had to figure it out for myself who he was. But, he has a presence because he's an author, so that's pretty much all he's permitted to do, is promote his books. Because of his private clients, we know who he works for. And I'm sure it'll come out, if not as a result of the lawsuit, then things that will be revealed later on, whenever it's safer to do so. It may shock some people that are friends with him, Most of the people only know him because of a vampire book he wrote. And that should be enough clues for y'all to, figure out who he is, but that's all I'm gonna say. I want to see if he does a book signing close to me on his new book on how quantum physics relates to psychic phenomena. I definitely want to go to a book signing and be like, yo, dude, now you gotta talk to me in person. Obviously, I'm going to carry quite a bit of protection when I do that. Spiritually speaking. We shall see how that plays out. Gala, was it you that said you liked the candles? Because I got the one that says Karma, Zen, and Crown. Those I got at Dollar Tree. The other one I got at Five Below. The sacral one I got at, the Five Below. I don't know how widespread it is, but it's a pretty awesome place. I've gotten t-shirts and a fountain and all kinds of stuff there. And I've gotten other other chakra candles there. But this one has been sitting there for a while. I just thought, you know what? I'm going to burn it tonight. And you missed it. You guys missed it. Yvette saw, but a moth sacrificed itself, almost within a couple minutes. I was just really, I knew it was going to happen too. I saw it. I saw it happening before it happened. While I was going in to get the candle, I'm like, I wonder how long it's going to take for a moth to sacrifice itself. Yeah, Dollar Tree only has, at least the one that I've been to, the couple I've been to, they only had, heart and above. They didn't have any of the lower chakras. So, it's whatever. But Five Below had the other ones for a very short period of time. I haven't seen them in there since, but it's been several months that they've carried the chakra candles at Dollar Tree. The Karma and Zen ones are new. But I've burned the hell out of the Karma ones for some people, so that one's almost out. I gotta get up and go to the grocery store, Aldi's, in the morning because it was pouring down rain whenever we were gonna go, and she does not like to drive in the rain, and I wasn't about to try to drive today because my wrist was starting to hurt a little bit. So I was just like, I usually don't function well during the day, and it was too hot anyways. The rain just kind of made it more humid. It was kind of miserable. I only burn stuff out here. I do have a salt lamp, though. I did use a diffuser for a while, but it needs cleaned out badly. I'm so lax about using the things that I know I should. I don't know what's going on with the fire energy, but just had like flame levitating off my cigarette. Like, no. There's times when I've been able to levitate a flame like almost a foot off of the wick. Like, there was a gap of several inches, almost a foot, in between the wick and the actual flame. So, I don't know how the hell I managed it. Doing some serious fire bending then. I wish I'd had live then and a phone that could do it. It would have been awesome. I'll have to see if I can do it again someday. It'd be nice to have my own little room for an altar and doing readings and everything when we have our own place. Because this sitting in the garage, or I used to sit on the front porch, but it's been raining so much that I'm just not going to bother trying. But last year, I have some videos up that I did last year and posted. And I used to have critters stop by. And raccoons and skunks and possums. And when I found out I couldn't have my bird feeder up anymore, I was crying on the front porch, and one of the raccoons came up to check on me. She's like, "What's the matter, human?" It was so cute. It was like so sweet of her to come and check on me. I miss sitting out there and seeing the critters, but without the bird feeder and all the leftovers that get dropped, they're not gonna come out unless we put something out for them, like bread or whatever. They definitely like pizza crust, and we haven't had pizza that much, so. But when we had pizza a lot, always had crust out there, and they definitely like the pizza crust from Domino's. One night I put pieces of lemon pound cake that was starting to go bad, like it was getting hard and yucky. And I threw that out there, and the skunks ate that up like crazy. I'm like, wow, I did not know skunks like lemon pound cake. It was really funny. Like, I was really surprised. And then, one of them decided to chill on the sidewalk one night with me. Just kind of flopped down a sidewalk, pulled her tail around her like a cat, and just Took a little nap and kind of watched me. Yeah, Domino's pizza crust is good. You know, we've earned so many free pizzas just from ordering them so much. It's probably the healthiest pizza my mother's ever eaten. We get the spinach and feta one. I love the little Greek touch there. Trying to get her to eat vegetables like pulling teeth. Like, you wonder why you're so unhealthy. I mean, come on. You don't eat that many vegetables, which, you know, I do a little bit better, but I think if I was growing stuff out of my own garden, I'd be eating a lot better than I do. But I'm pretty lazy. So that's saying something. She used to hate them as a kid. Yeah, I know. And I know once I'm in my own place and, you know, have a garden and you know, helping cook for a family, I'm definitely going to be making healthier food, you know. When I was raising the kids I have now, we ate all natural, all organic diet. We might have eaten a little bit of junk food here and there, but they didn't, you know, so. It's like, I know better, it's just like, I am not that motivated to do better because it's cheaper not to, unfortunately. And trying to convince someone that doesn't like a lot of stuff to eat it. Oh, that's okay, Soul. You go ahead and you recharge yourself too, okay? Thank you for sticking around. I'll catch you again whenever I have some free time. Who knows when that'll be next. We'll see how it works out. Any of the nights where I'm off both jobs, because I know there's some nights I have both of them. I have to work both of them. Like short shifts on the other one. Thank you, dear. I appreciate that. Yeah, I probably will. Probably finish off this cigarette and then snuff everything and go in and see if we can have some chat time if he's willing to talk. I don't know. He's just quiet tonight. I think he just gets tired of talking, you know, like he has to talk so much in therapy that he's just like, I don't want to talk anymore. I'm so glad you guys stopped by. I hope you enjoyed the energy off the candles. We'll have to maybe just do the candles for a little bit when I have time. If I don't have the energy for readings, I can at least burn some candles. It was nice hanging in Legendary's channel tonight, too. I do what I can. Just something told me to pull this candle out and burn it a little bit. So maybe somebody needed it. TL did a little tour of his neighborhood walking to the cafe earlier today. Caught that tail end of that. Saw some murals and stuff and got a good idea for putting plants on the wall. Like, I've seen the idea before, but, I think definitely want to do that on the sides of the cabin. And it's funny a lot of times, especially if I'm, taking my Epsom salts bath after work and have TL's thing running. I'm not even like in the chat room. I'm playing trivia games, and then sometimes I say something, but I was switching back and forth with Legendary today. I haven't caught one of his in a little while. But yeah, I like listening to his voice. He's got a nice, soothing voice. And he's got such a sense of humor about things. And the little, snippets of songs are nice too. Like, oh, yeah. Sometimes it seems like maybe it's channeled, maybe it's just, he thinks of it and decides to sing. It's like, okay. That's one thing that's lacking, but I'll see what I can do about musical accompaniment or something. It's too bad the tree frog shut up because, that was nice earlier. But I guess even they go to bed. So us night owls here make it easier on you to find a channel to tune into. I know he does his Wednesday things, Terra Illumination, for people in Europe and stuff. There was a toad down at the old place I used to work in, and I'd go down and hang out with some of my coworkers at night. And, what did we call her? Oh, I forget what we called her. But a big, big, big toad, and every time that we was sat out on the porch in front, she would come by to say hi. It was funny. It was that the coworker that found her, she had a pet raccoon named Rosie. Big fat thing. Oh my god. And it's funny, she was really picky about what she ate. She would only eat a certain brand of dog food and salt and vinegar chips. I love TL's channel. I don't even know how long I've been a subscriber and watching him, honestly. But I guess it's been a long time. And I love that he has his own music and he plays it, I think if I can get the Wi-Fi to stay on and I can restart my what used to be called Slacker Radio, it's Live X Live now or something. He's on there. I'll have that on there and give him some plays, because he should get paid from the plays that people do of his music on those programs. And it's pretty hard for independent artists to get on some of those music apps, So, how he managed to do it, I don't know, but I'm glad he did. So, I think, maybe I'll try that tonight. Put it on his channel and see what other artists he's associated with. And let him know, like, hey, on the channel that plays your music, they also play this, because they play related stuff. Kind of like Pandora, but I like the way Slacker has their algorithm better. because Pandora seemed to throw in too much random stuff that was not related to the content you want. But, you know, if you actually have a subscription to Slacker and pay, then you can adjust things better. Like, I was never impressed by Pandora, so I've always used that other one. It's called LiveX Live now. But I had so many channels, like custom channels made. And I don't know if it kept it when I canceled my subscription while I was scraping money together for other things and not employed. I let a lot of things go except for my YouTube subscription because I play all the readings that I watch. I play it in the background while I'm doing other things on my phone. So, yeah, I have to multitask when I do things. I can't stand just sitting there and watching the video unless it's, you know, something I need to watch. Yeah, I love his music. He should really legit be famous. Like, I don't know why he's not. He isn't yet. We'll say that. He isn't yet. I think he will be. I think he's got it mostly figured out. Yeah, he's a sweetheart too. I definitely want to meet him in person. So I hope we, at some point, have a chance to travel a little bit. And, want to go meet Tina. She's like, you guys are welcome to stay in my new place and all this stuff. I'm like, oh my god, it's awesome. Who knows? She might end up regretting it if it's, like, his kids, and then I don't know if we'll travel before or after the twins come. We'll see. Yeah, TL's a sweetheart. Total sweetheart. Everybody on that channel, just, he attracts good people there, so it's very nice. I've met some interesting people through his channel. He was there already. I mean, I guess, you know, he's trying to work it out to move there. I don't blame him either. It sounds like a good place to live. Like, we've been trying to see, you know, if things get really, really bad here in the States, been trying to look at other countries that would be good for us. And of course, you know, he's always been like, oh, we could go to Greece. It's like, it's pretty hot there, though. And the other option's Ireland. Ireland seems pretty cool. Well, I could definitely deal with the weather there a little easier than, like, I've been to the Mediterranean. I've been to Italy twice. I liked it, but yeah, the heat gets to me worse than the cold does. So I have to consider that. But it would be nice to live in a country that's not as toxic. And might not be as expensive, you know? I might have a lot of healthy older places to be in. We'll see what happens. I just can't do it. If I spend too much time in the sun, I'll just pass out. And I can't sleep if I'm too hot, so I've been running the fan in my room for a while. For over a month now. I was just like, nope, miserable. My mother finally caved and asked for the fan tonight. But I'm going to apply for Lowe's credit and see if I can get a portable AC, because last year we ran our AC and it was fine, but one of the neighbors complained it was running too much. And apparently it was bothering him. Like, everybody's AC's running. Seriously? And then suddenly it wasn't working. And it would cost way, way, way too much to replace, so. It's winter, huh? Yeah. You guys got it all backwards. Like, I don't know. If we ended up with enough money to, like, travel back and forth, that'd be ideal. Like, always be in a place where it's not completely hot. But, see, that would work out if it was just us. But knowing he's going to end up with custody of his kids eventually, we're going to have twins, that's a lot to be hauling around. Especially when they're younger. But maybe, maybe after I retire from being a therapist, who knows? Who knows? I mean, that's a few years off anyways. Do it the other way around. Travel when the kids are... I mean, it's good for kids to experience different things. But it just sounds like it's way too much. Way too much. I mean, vacations are one thing, but, like, constantly on the move might be a bit much, We'll see. I mean, we may end up hugely abundant and able to do that. And if we can make it work, certainly an option. I would never count anything out, I'm sure we'll end up traveling a bit, when things start coming out more and he wants to do some talks and some presentations on stuff. As a team, we'll be traveling probably for that too. So, I mean, we could probably end up incorporating it. Who knows? It may work out that way. Because, it's not just this country that participates in this stuff. There's other countries that are involved. Maybe not to the same extent, but, they did do some of the MK Ultra stuff in Canada. Yeah, we'll see. Right now, we're just concerned with getting him through the lawsuit and custody, and me getting through the divorce and getting through school. It's just like, let's tackle each problem as they come up and get through all that stuff, and then, have some goals in mind, obviously, but, it'll all work out. However it ends up happening, Well, we definitely have a purpose here. Trying to heal people, and it's not just going to be limited to here, so we'll go where we're needed. It's going to be a crazy few years, though. Definitely going to be a crazy few years. I know I signed up for it, so... You guys are awesome. It's been nice to just burn a candle and chat. I don't know if I made the donation link work. I guess I thought the app put up a link somehow, but I guess I had to put that in the description. So I tested that out because I set my PayPal up with a profile now. I just threw it in there tonight, like, see if the link will work, but yeah, Soul and Legendary gave me some donations last night, and it was really sweet of them. It's a nice surprise. It's nice to see a little pay it forward in the community. Because I always try to do some super chats when I go to different channels. If you're a YouTube subscriber and you pay for the service, you get a free super chat every month. Just one of them, you know. So that'll be coming up again when it renews. They are. They really are. Soul has been really, really great supporting me and helping my channel and telling people like and share and subscribe and donate. I'm really shocked TL stopped by the other night though. Like, I invited him, but he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna be away. I'll try to catch you sometime." And then poof, there he was. I'm just like, I don't think he really goes to other channels. At least I don't think he, chats. I'm sure he watches other stuff, but it was kind of nice. She's got some really good videos. I haven't watched all of them yet, but I've watched enough of them, and she's got some good stuff on there. Maybe I'll start doing some more, like, general readings and whatever when I have time. For a while, I was going to try to make this a second income, but need something a little steadier for now. And then, I probably won't make it more than 4 months at this assisted living. If I do get pregnant in October, that's going to be 3 months, and I don't want to risk them, trying to lift people. So we'll see how long I can do that for. I at least want to, make it through 3 months so my friend who referred me gets her bonus. But I definitely have to have some sort of income while I'm doing school. So if I end up having to just take it easy and just do this, I can do this, If I have to end up focusing more on this for income, I'll definitely post in, like, general readings, like maybe dailies, weeklies, monthlies, and then do lives for when I have the time and take donations. Yeah, I'm not concerned. I know everything is going to work out. So, as long as I listen to my intuition, we're good. And I have. I've learned that if I get a nudge, I better listen. So you coming to bed anytime soon? Yeah, I think he finally got rid of his headache. I feel bad for him. I know it's just part of the process, having to deal with that, but can't really make it any easier on him. Just be supportive, you know? Definitely learned to be very, very patient with things. And so is he. Like, he's been incredibly patient with things that I probably shouldn't have procrastinated on. Like, you know, we've had our arguments, but it blows over. It always does. And, you know, we've never really been vicious with each other. Yeah, we have had arguments, but not toxic level blowouts. Which, it's weird for me to have someone that he knows when it's getting too touchy, you know? And I know when he's not in the mood for joking around about certain things and, you know, when to just let something drop. It's like, well, we'll talk about this later. Now is not the time. You know, earlier, you know, years ago, whenever we were first connecting and triggering each other like crazy, I mean, there was still no viciousness, no bad intent. It's just, it happened accidentally. I mean, it was just part of the process of how you connect with your twin. But had we realized that, had both of us realized it, it might have been a little easier on us. Oh yeah, he's awake and not chatty yet, but I mean the fact that he's like, "Are you going to bed?" So it's like, since you decided to wake me up to, you know, say you're doing this ritual, what the hell? Why'd you wake me up? I mean, he wasn't fully asleep. He often kind of hovers between sleep and being awake. You know, form of dissociation. So, because falling asleep, then nightmares sometimes come, and he can still kind of rest. You know? It's kind of hard to explain unless you experience it yourself. Like, you can kind of rest yourself doing it that way. Kind of like, almost like a meditative state, but more your mind is forcing that state upon you, rather than you consciously choosing to. Yeah. I mean, we all dissociate when we're stressed out and stuff, so you can kind of understand. Yeah. And I've had a couple other interesting chats. Yeah, that's all you can do. Yeah, it's not as bad as it used to be. Like, he used to be afraid. He was like, I don't know how it's gonna be, you know, trying to sleep in the same bed as you, because I don't want to, like, wake up and lash out. But he doesn't do that anymore. Like, he wakes up and he's disturbed by stuff and he needs a moment to, you know, relax and calm down. and realize and ground himself and all that, but it's not as extreme as it used to be. And he still gets like weird, disturbing dreams, and I've seen some of them. Like, I'll wake up and be like, what the hell was this all about? And he'll explain. You know? And most of the time, if I have a disturbing dream, it's because of our connection. And I just, I'm usually connected to him, falling asleep, and I get to experience it too, unless he disconnects in the process, which also happens. If he switches, then the connection kind of drops. But just, if he's not switching in the midst of it, then I end up seeing whatever he's dreaming of. So I know if it doesn't have any symbolic meaning for me, that it's something that he's dealing with. If I didn't know what I knew, I would be like, I am completely fucking batshit. And I still have my moments where I'm like, no, I'm completely fucking batshit. And, I reach out and I get confirmation and signs and all this stuff, and people reassure me by saying certain things, and sometimes they don't even realize what they're saying is reassurance or a sign for me, so... The universe is like, can you calm down? We got this. Yeah. I'm sorry, Yvette, hon. Well, I'm going to shut this down for the night and try to get some sleep and see if he wants to talk about whatever went on today. And, we try to at least check in with each other. We don't talk as much as we used to because we're so focused on, dealing with things. My sign, Capricorn, Sun, Mars, and Mercury. Sun and Mars is conjunct. But I'm a Leo moon conjunct rising. He has a Scorpio stellium in Western astrology. And it sits, mostly in my third house, but right by my IC. And when I switch to Vedic, the signs change, but, he switches to a Libra stellium. Yeah. But, our synastry stays about the same with the switch over, which is weird because there's 13 years difference between us. So, either way we look at it, we're meant to be. He's a Gemini rising, so Virgo Venus in the Western, in a intercepted house, no less. So he mostly internalizes the Virgo Venus stuff, but there's times when I'm like, oh my god, I'm still gonna have to deal with Virgo energy. I don't have enough of my own, my Saturn's in Virgo retrograde. My adopted mother is Virgo. My first husband was Virgo too. That didn't work. So... But, we've got some very, very interesting synastry. A lot of it explains, the telepathy and the feeling like we belong to each other, Yeah, his Gemini rising is a little bit of a wild card. but definitely overshadowed by his Scorpio stellium. I don't know that much about astrology, so I'm still learning myself. Like, I know people are like, oh, it's a pseudoscience. No, I really think it is a science. It's just so complicated. And if, you compare the different systems, it's just so weird. It's hard to tell. But he's like, come on, Liz. So, let's see. Should be an interesting night. Should get some sleep. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Like and subscribe, okay? And then hit the little dingy bell so you know when I'm live again. It might be a little while till I adjust to my new job. So I'll see you guys again some other time, okay? Y'all have a good night or day, Yvette. See you guys again.